Hi guys, welcome to Storytime with Mr. John. I'm Mr. John, and it's story time. Today we're going to read The Fire Cat by Esther Averill. It's from the I Can Read series, beginning reading 1 from Harper Trophy, which is part of Harper Collins Publishing. And they have a website at icanread.com. So I'm excited about this book. So let's go ahead and jump over to our book. Okay, so this is The Fire Cat. See him sliding down the pole, got his fire hat on. It's by Esther Averill. And let's jump right in. This book has 3 chapters. We like chapter books. The first one is Pickles. The second one is The Fire Cat. The third chapter is The Old Tree. So let's jump into the first chapter called Pickles. Once upon a time there was a yellow cat with black spots in his fur. His name was Pickles. Pickles was a young cat. His paws were big, and he wished to do big things with them. But where could Pickles find anything big to do? Pickles lived in a barrel. The barrel was all that he had for a home. Now, a little story about pickles and barrels. Way back in the old days, that was how they made pickles, was in a wooden barrel. And when you went to a store or shop and you wanted to get a pickle, they got it out of a barrel. So it's a cute little joke in here that they've got pickles living in a barrel. Okay, so Pickles' barrel was in an old yard where there was nothing big to do. So what Pickles do? He ran after little cats. He ran after every little cat that came into the yard. He chased the little cat out of the yard. This was a bad, bad thing, but it was all that Pickles could find to do. Next to Pickles' yard was a house. In that house lived many cats, who called out to Pickles, "You are bad. You cannot be our friend." But Pickles did have a friend in the house. His friend was Mrs. Goodkind. See Mrs. Goodkind in the window? See the other cats in the windows looking out, hollering at him? Every day Mrs. Goodkind came into the yard and gave Pickles something to eat. One day Mrs. Goodkind said, "Pickles, you're not a bad cat. You're not a good cat. You are a good and bad and good. You're a mixed up cat. What you need is a good home. Then you will be good." Miss Goodkind picked up the mixed up cat. She took him into her home to live. In Miss Goodkind's home there was a pretty chair for Pickles to sit on. There were toys for him to play with. See the pretty chair? And all of the toys for him to play with. But Pickles didn't want to sit in a pretty chair. He did not want to play with toys. He ran back to his barrel in the yard, and he began to chase little cats again. Miss Goodkind said to Pickles, "Things cannot go on like this. Something will happen." The next day, Pickles chased a little cat up an old tree. He climbed after her. Pickles sat up in the tree near the little cat and would not let her climb down. See him chasing her up a tree, and then now he's sitting up in the tree and blocking her exit. After a time, the wind began to blow. It blew and blew and blew, and the rain came down hard. It came down harder and harder. At last, Pickles let the little cat climb down and go home. Pickles wanted to climb down too. He wanted to get back into his barrel. He could not climb down. Sometimes it happened to a cat, and it happened to Pickles. Miss Goodkind ran to the tree. "Pickles," she called, "please try to climb down." The Pickles could not climb down. See him up in the tree, see the wind blowing, got his fur and ears and everything knocked back, and the rain's pouring down. I wonder if he learns a lesson about chasing other cats up trees. Miss Goodkind ran into the house. Pickles could see her by the window. She was talking on the telephone. Then she called out to Pickles, "The firemen are coming." The fire truck came up the street and stopped at Pickles' yard. 3 firemen jumped down from the truck. Mrs. Goodkind came out of the house. She ran up to the firemen, pointed to Pickles. The firemen put a ladder against the tree. One of the firemen began to climb up the ladder. See Pickles up in the tree, and the fireman's put the ladder up, and he's climbing up the tree. That's a big, tall tree to be climbing up a ladder. Mr. John doesn't like heights. He would have to get somebody else to climb up the tree and get the cat. He would stand at the bottom and cheer him on. The fireman climbed to the top of the ladder. "Come, cat," he said to Pickles. "Let me help you." The fireman picked up Pickles and tucked him in his coat. Then he took Pickles down the ladder, down to Mrs. Goodkind. See Pickles inside the fireman's coat? They're getting ready to climb down. "Miss Goodkind," said the fireman, "is this your cat?" "No, Joe," said Miss Goodkind. "Pickles has no home, and he does not want to live with me." "Why?" asked Joe. Miss Goodkind answered, "My home is too little for Pickles. Pickles is a cat who wishes to do big things, and someday he will do them. Look at his big paws." See Pickles inside the fireman's coat? And see Miss Goodkind standing there with the umbrella? Pickles put out a paw for Joe to see. "My goodness, Pickles," said Joe. "What big paws you have." Pickles looked at Joe and said the one word he could say, "Meow." And Joe could see that Pickles wanted something very much. Joe gave Pickles a pat. "Pickles," he said, "I will take you to our firehouse. Maybe our chief will let you stay." Okay, Chapter 2. The Fire Cat. Joe took Pickles to the chief, who was sitting at his desk. See, Hook and Ladder Company number 7. See, there's Joe and Pickles, and there's the fire chief. "Oh," said the chief, "I know this young cat. He's the one who chases little cats." "How do you know?" asked Joe. Chief answered, "A fire chief knows many things." Then the telephone began to ring. "Hello," said the chief. "Oh, hello, Mrs. Goodkind. Yes, Pickles is here. He came with Joe." "What did you say?" "You think Pickles would like to live in the firehouse?" "Well, we'll see. Thank you, Miss Goodkind. Goodbye." The chief looked at Pickles and said, "Miss Goodkind says you're not a bad cat, and Joe likes you. I will let you live here if you learn to be a good firehouse cat." Pickles walked quietly up the stairs with Joe. See Pickles going up the stairs? Joe and Pickles went into a room where the firemen lived. The men were pleased to have a cat. They wanted to play with Pickles. But suddenly the fire bell rang. All the firemen ran to the big pole, and down they went. The pole was a fast way to get to their trucks. Pickles could hear the trucks starting up and rushing off to the fire. See the firemen going down the pole? Pickles said to himself, I must learn to do what the firemen do. I must learn to slide down the pole. He jumped and put his paws around the pole. Down he fell with a bump. Wasn't as easy as he thought it was. Bumps or no bumps, I must try again, said Pickles. Up the stairs he ran, down the pole he came and bumped. He tried again and bumped. By the time the firemen came back from the fire, Pickles could slide down the pole. What a wonderful cat you are, said the fireman. Chief did not say anything. See Pickles sliding down the pole? Pickles said to himself, I must keep on learning everything I can. So he learned to jump up on the big trucks. See? You see him jumping up on the big truck seat? He learned to sit up straight on the seat while the truck was racing to a fire. What a wonderful cat you are, said the fireman. The chief did not say anything. Pickles said to himself, now I must learn to help the firemen with their work. The next fire he jumped down from the truck. He ran to the big fire hose, put his paws on it, and tried to help the firemen shoot the water to flames. What a wonderful cat you are, said the fireman. The chief did not say anything. See Pickles holding on to the fire hose, helping them put out the fire. He's trying to help. The next day the chief called all the firemen to his desk. Then he called for Pickles. Pickles did not know what was going to happen. He said to himself, maybe the chief does not like the way I work. Maybe he wants to send me back to my old yard. But Pickles went to the chief. At the chief's desk stood all the firemen and Mrs. Goodkind. The chief said to Pickles, I have asked Miss Goodkind to come because she was your first friend. Pickles, jump up on the desk. I have something to say to you. Pickles jumped up on the desk and looked at the chief. Out of the desk the chief took a little fire hat. See the little fire hat? Pickles, said the chief, I have watched you at your work. You've worked hard. The time has come for you to know that you are now our fire cat. And with those words, the chief put the little red hat on Pickles' head. Chapter 3. The Old Tree. Pickles made friends with all the firemen. But he did not make friends with any cats. When the cats came to the firehouse to look at the trucks, Pickles chased them away. The chief called Pickles to him and said, a fire cat must be kind to everyone. You must be good to other cats. Little by little, Pickles learned to be good to the cats he met. He made friends with them too. Then all the cats loved to come to the firehouse. On rainy days, most cats stayed at home. But Pickles sat upstairs with the firemen. One rainy day, as he sat there, he thought to himself, how bad I was when I chased the other cats. Once I chased a little cat up a tree. Oh me, oh my, why did I do that? Suddenly, Pickles heard the chief call out, cat in a tree! Fireman Joe and two other men slid down the pole. Pickles slid down after them. He heard the chief say, the tree is in the old yard next to Miss Goodkind's house. Oh, thought Pickles, that's the yard where I live, and that's the tree. Pickles jumped on the truck with the three firemen. Away they rode to the yard, and there, in the wind and the rain, stood Miss Goodkind, pointing to a very little cat. The fireman put a ladder against the tree, and the ladder scared the little cat, and she ran to a high branch where the fireman could not go. Joe said to Miss Goodkind, "I don't know what to do." But Pickles knew. He began to climb the ladder. He climbed up and up and up. It was hard work, but at last he came to the top of the ladder. Then he climbed up the tree until he came to the little cat. "Come, cat," he said to her, "let me help you." He picked her up and took her gently down to Miss Goodkind. Miss Goodkind thanked Pickles. Then she said to him, "I always knew that someday you would do big things. Today you have done something very big." Pickles waved a paw at her as if to say, "Miss Goodkind, this is only a beginning." And he rode home to the firehouse a proud and happy cat. The end. Well, guys, I hope you like that. You notice that I am sitting here in front of the firehouse. So, with my red fez on. Matches my red shirt, doesn't it? That's really neat. I love my fez. I love crazy hats. So, okay. Like and share and subscribe to see more of my videos. We're going to read a lot of books to you guys. And we're going to be doing some live recordings where you can actually comment, and I'll say your name out during the broadcast. So, all right, guys. Thank you for watching Storytime. Come and see us again soon.